Top corporate honchos, including the Ambanis, are going to be a part of this inauguration that takes place at the capital. Akanksha Swarup, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Akanksha, world leaders are congregating in Washington, D.C. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar representing India there for the inauguration of Donald Trump.
Right, Poonam. In fact, this is one guest list which is very much making the headlines for all the leaders who are present and also for the ones who are not present. Before I get to the ones who will be not making it to this inauguration ceremony, important to highlight that there's a special focus on Latin American nations, whether it is El Salvador, the former Brazilian president, who's also known to be a prominent right-wing figure like Jair Bolsonaro, was invited, but he'll not be able to make it. But we do know that the Argentinian president will very much be there. The Ecuadorian president will be there. So you can see the focus on Latin America because Donald Trump's son-in-law and his own son, Donald Trump Jr., have some very close relations with leaders of the Latin American nations. Many of them are now being governed by these right-wing figures. Some very controversial right-wing figures from Spain will also be invited. But let's also talk about how there is focus on India as well, because India will be represented by Honorable External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. As we speak, we are also learning that Dr. Jaishankar has already had a meeting with his foreign ministerial counterparts of the Quad from Australia and Japan as well. In fact, we are also learning that Marco Rubio, on day one of his post as the Secretary of State, will also be addressing a meeting with the Quad foreign ministers. So that is the kind of strategic importance that the incoming Donald Trump administration will be focusing on. Quad was also expanded during Trump's previous presidency. But quickly, to give you a roundup of who all are going to be there, we also have tech billionaires like Elon Musk, who's very much part of the administration, as is Ramaswamy. Then apart from them, you will also see a Sam Altman, the RIL chairperson, Mr. Ambani is also there, even Mark Zuckerberg. Very interestingly, what you see is the absence of the European figures, whether it is the EU President Ursula von der Leyen or even the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, or in fact, surprisingly, the French President Emmanuel Macron. He's also not going to be present despite sharing a good bonhomie during Trump's previous presidency. So you can see what is about to come as far as the European Union and the NATO is concerned. The message is loud and clear coming from Donald Trump's second presidency. You can see how the geopolitical relationship is now going to shape up between Brussels and Washington.
Right, Akanksha, thank you so much for putting that in perspective for us. Well, the countdown has definitely begun for Trump 2.0. He is going to be taking oath in a little over 12 hours from now. Ahead of that mega swearing-in ceremony, preparations are on in full swing, from security measures to plans to battle the severe cold. Here's a report from CNN detailing all you need to know about the grand inauguration.
I'm thrilled to be back with so many friends, supporters, and true American patriots.
President-elect Donald Trump holding a victory rally in Washington Sunday, one day before his second presidential inauguration, where security will be heightened.
We've got thousands of police officers. We've got over 1,000 National Guards.
Monday's events will take place inside the Capitol due to dangerously cold weather. With the wind that feels like temperatures are expected to be around 10 degrees. The frigidly cold temps stretching across much of the country, with nearly 150 million people under cold weather alerts through Tuesday.
Whether the event is indoors or outdoors, our mission remains the same: to ensure a safe and successful presidential inauguration.
Trump's return to the Oval Office comes at a pivotal time for foreign relations. Israel and Hamas striking a ceasefire deal that officially took effect Sunday. Trump's incoming team and the Biden administration helping facilitate the negotiations.
Most beautiful of all, this week we achieved an epic ceasefire agreement as a first step toward lasting peace in the Middle East.
And after so much pain, destruction, loss of life, today the guns in Gaza have gone silent.
The deal includes 3 phases. In the first phase, Israel will release 735 Palestinian prisoners over 6 weeks in exchange for Hamas releasing 33 Israeli hostages who have been in captivity for 470 days. Crowds in Tel Aviv celebrating Sunday as the first 3 hostages were released. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.